Hello friends, I hope you are doing well. Chelsea Collie here. I hope everybody's having a lovely Monday. I just wanted to go live real quick while I had the chance. And looks like my hair is a little crazy, that's okay. So I've been wanting to go live and talk to you about some things. And I just finished the Zodiac on Tarot by Janine for August, and it was so good. I highly recommend, if you are a fan of Janine, it's only $5 a month, and it's worth it for this one monthly video she does alone. It's worth $5. And then she also does 2 world news updates every week. So it's really like 9 or 10 videos a month, which is a lot considering, she already does so much. So it's well worth $5. But she just said, like, August is a big month for transformation, ascension. I mean, not in these words, but like, it's going to be a very transformative month. There's going to be a lot of fireworks. And she described by the end of August, we are going to be like awake, and everyone is going to be awake, and the truth is going to be coming out in a big way in the month of August. She did do a final card, and it was the Hermit card, and that was the whole theme. And the Hermit is very like old soul, like wise, off-world, alliance, that type of energy. So this month is going to be a really big shift, and I feel it. It's already been really heavy, and I don't know what's going to happen. She pretty much says what's going to happen is a lot of information is going to come out about the thing, and it's going to be like in the news. So just when like everybody finds out that, they did something that was not safe for them in the whole world, and it's on the mainstream news, because we've already seen some stuff on the mainstream news lately. Mega truth bombs dropped out of the UK. Someone who sat on the board, or sits on the board, Department of Defense or something like that. She talked about the planes of gold. She talked about Trump stepping in front of the Queen. She talked about the fact that Joe Biden is only president of a defunct corporation. And that was on the mainstream news. So, like, it's definitely coming out in a big way. Things are just heating up in Texas. It's so hot. It's, the other day it was like 110 in San Antonio, and it is just, things are really popping off. It really does seem like something big is going to happen. And it just hit 333 when I said that. So that's confirmation for me anyways. Do you guys feel it? Do you feel the energy? I do have one ask for you. I want a question for you from everyone. If you're watching this right now, please, please, please comment with a question that you have for Paul Hutchinson on Wednesday. So, back to Tarot by Janine. I just wanted to give a plug for her, and it's tarotbyjanine.com, and I think it's well worth $5 a month. You can also pay yearly, so you don't have to worry about it, So yeah, mark your calendars on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. I'm going to be interviewing Paul Hutchinson, and he is one of the executive producers for Sound of Freedom. He rescued kids with Tim Ballard for years, and he's since split ways with Tim Ballard about 5 years ago. But he's going to come on, and he's going to talk to us. He just launched his podcast, and he has a YouTube channel. It's called Liberating Humanity. And I love the ideas that he shares about, he's really forward thinking. So, we are going to talk, a little bit about his past in rescuing children and his role with Tim Ballard and everything like that. But I do want to talk a lot about where he's wanting to go, because he has some really interesting ideas of ways that we can help the collective in a big way, and like breaking past generational trauma and just doing like massive amounts of healing in a short amount of time. He has some ideas how, we could help the people that are struggling with the porn addictions or the people who were sexually abused, because that's like 25% of our population. And, half of them go on, no, not, 2/3 of them go on and they don't abuse, but 1/3 of everybody who's abused turns into a perpetrator for someone else. So they turn into, the abuser. So if we can start to curb that and support that, like he wants to be able to help people that have the urges but haven't acted on the urges yet, So I think that is some really good ways that, because what he found was when he was rescuing the children, which I'm not sure if they're still doing rescues or not, but I know they were up till last December. He said it created a vacuum, and like just more kids were replaced. And after doing it for like 10 years, the numbers had gone from like 8 million people annually worldwide, and now they're 10 million people. That's men, women, and children worldwide. And so if he's been working so hard to rescue these kids all the time, then why is the numbers getting worse? So he kind of thought through some higher level solutions, and I hope that he can share some of that with us on Wednesday. But I think it's really important that we get the questions asked, what we want to know about the Sound of Freedom. And like, I will look at anything, like, good, bad, or ugly. I'll look at it, and then I'll just try to fit it in, how does this make sense? And, right now I just want to get some clarity on like where the funding came from and why they accepted that money. And, I'm kind of curious, because obviously this is part of a white hat move. Like, did Trump pretty much force the Carlos Slim family to fund it? Because initially the Carlos Slim family and the Walton family and John Paul DeJoria are the initial people who funded it after Paul Hutchinson. Because Paul Hutchinson, the man who we're interviewing, just to remind you who he is actually a hedge fund owner. He's co-founder of a $48 billion hedge fund. So he was the first money in to invest in Sound of Freedom. He invested all of the pre-production costs, and then they needed more money. And so that's when they got money from the Carlos Slim family and the Walton family per Paul Hutchinson. But also Tim Ballard said from John Paul DeJoria. And John Paul DeJoria, I believe, is another executive producer. And Patrick Slim Domit, something like that, he is also an executive producer, and he's the son of Carlos Slim. So you got a couple producers on there that are kind of sketchy. And there's a lot of information out there regarding Carlos Slim, John Paul DeJoria, and it gets pretty yucky. There are even ties to like the NXIVM sex cult. So, yeah, all the evil is mixed into this, but I thoroughly believe God is going to use this for the good. And Janine's read on this as well, and she also reminded me this is going to be used for the good. As my friend Katrina, who has a channel, Red Mountain Shaman, she has a channel, and she channeled a message for Sound of Freedom, because there's a lot of us, and you're probably one of these people too, a lot of us feel that we're really like heartfelt connected to the sound of freedom. Like, it hits a spark for us, and we're like highly, want this to get out there for the awareness. And that's the thing about God's timing. It's like, we wanted this movie to come out 3 years ago, but it would not have had the same impact. And how long was this plan thought out? Clearly before 2017. And even this movie was filmed, I believe, in 2015. So clearly this is all, like, all these players are meant to be in this movie, and it's going to play out. But there's going to be evil revealed through this Sound of Freedom movement, I believe. And I just want us to ask the questions that we have, because if Paul Hutchinson chose to split ways with Tim Ballard because of things he was doing with the money, it just brings up this question, like, why did they fund it with dirty money in the first place? And I say dirty money, but I mean, it's up to you, what you think. That's how I think of it, because this man is involved in, like, drug trafficking and organ stuff, and he's even invested in a cement company that allows human blood in the cement company. Cement. I'm not saying semen, I'm saying cement. C-E-M-E-N-T. Yeah, and there's this, if you follow Crucial 13, there's a video about the blood in the cement and how that's connected to Carlos Slim. So I don't know if they were putting bodies in the cement or what, but it's pretty dark. But, did they use that money, that dirty money, or the money that was made by this Carlos Slim, one of the richest guys in the world, and did they say, you're going to fund your own demise? You're going to fund your own demise. You're going to be revealed in this process. You're forcing everyone to capitulate, because that's what they did, right? So, I mean, I totally feel like that's what it is. Also, I mentioned earlier, my friend Katrina Whitley, she is Red Mountain Shaman, and I shared a little clip of her channeling from Sound of Freedom, but she totally says at the end of that, sometimes you have to be part of a corrupt organization in order to expose it. So, did Tim Ballard, Paul Hutchinson, and what's the other guy's name? I'm blanking on his name. Sean Reyes, the Utah Attorney General right now. Those three guys, Tim Ballard, Paul Hutchinson, and Sean Reyes, they were all, like, initiated to Knights Templar on the same day. So is that part of this too? Because, otherwise, I don't think they just published that stuff on the internet. Like, why is that was published in 2016? So it's a fascinating thing that we're being able to witness. But I really, I just want to make sure we're supporting something that's totally on the up and up, right? And we want to make sure that, that money that they're making from the film, because they've already made over 125 million, just make sure that's going to the, the right place, and not using to perpetuate more evil. That's our main concern, I think. Actually, our main concern is what happened to the children. Like, what was the aftercare? Were they taken care of? There's rumors, and there's also investigations in the state of Utah, and there's people saying that children had run away from those centers, like OUR centers. So I haven't done that research. I don't know about that. But, we know that the devil does attack everything that is good. So it seems like a lot of the attacks are totally bogus. Like, when I look into them, there was an allegation that, I can't remember the name, but some pedophile and they said he was a funder and he got charged for kidnapping a child. Well, he wasn't a funder. He just donated to the crowdsourcing fund. So he donated once and they called him a funder. That's how the media twists stuff. What I think is really interesting is how the media is not bringing to news that Carlos Slim funded this, and Carlos Slim is a corrupt guy. And it's no wonder, because the media doesn't report the corruption, right? Because they're actually cover for the corruption. So it's interesting, the news stories that they choose, even though there is real juice there is real teeth, there are real problems. Like, you know what Walmart is up to, you know what they're doing, and you know they're one of the ones who funded this movie. So it's just a little suspicious, I think. Let me know what questions you have, and I'm glad I could talk this through a little bit. I'm trying to figure it all out myself because, you know, I've been through a lot of information since July 4th. But this is a lotus flower. We are having a new beginning, and we're going to have the support of galaxies. We already have the support of galaxies, and this is Tesla energy. I'm sending it to you. It's healing love energy through a Tesla coil. And, you know, we're going to get through this. We're going to be the people that our family and friends call and like, oh my God, you were right. Oh my God, you were right. You told us this was happening. I didn't believe you, and it's happening. So we're going to look forward to those phone calls, and we're going to try not to say, I told you so. But, you know, it's all really happening. I believe it. I feel it. And I feel like it's fallen in the fall. It's all going down, and August is going to set the tone for the rest of the year. So this is the transition. This is a takeover. This is where the meek shall inherit the earth. It's a very exciting time to be alive. This is like the most exciting message I could possibly share. So I love you. Don't forget to go to tarotbyjanine.com. Get your $5 subscription. That's totally worth it. And put it on your schedule, 4 p.m. Central, interview with Paul Hutchinson. Please share it. I'm working hard to try to find out the truth for you. So, love you guys. Hope you have a great week. Bye.